Right. Okay.
Take that!
It can only be you, Sister Iris.
Huh? But,
I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it.
Objection!
Trite, were you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on clean-up duty in the inner temple garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath. I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Godo? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim. Strange indeed. It's almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time. Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony?
mention what?
The pendulum, of course. Using this sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I've established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge, which means it's now a fact that this occurred. Something you should have already known.
No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum.
But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. It'd be impossible for you to be clueless about the whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with.
What? How can you say that, Mr. Rat?
What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple? Are you serious, Trite? You mean this woman is... There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanour changed so suddenly from yesterday, and why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing here at the witness stand, her real name is... I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. Hawthorne? Sister Iris had a twin sister, and you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless. It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh yes, I remember now. That case 5 years ago.
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. The honor is all mine.
Oh, the honor's all mine. But according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month. So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom. What? Order! Order! Order!
Wait a moment. How can you... My sister, she's already dead. What
You of all people should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of the Kurain channeling technique flows from within that body.
The Kurain channeling technique? Where have I heard that?
That's right, you're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia, currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium.
What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister Iris was?
Well, if you're going to put things that way, then yes.
We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happened?
Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions.
What's that?
These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple.
2 of them?
Even the time the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time.
That means the Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris.
And the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her. Namely, one Dahlia Hawthorne.
Do you even know what you're saying, Trite?
This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true you found plans that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing with the witness stand is the real Iris. What? Calm down, remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. It was later the body was moved by a pendulum. That's right. Naturally, that would mean the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far? Yes. After being notified of what happened, the police came from Hazakura Temple's main hall. There, they found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center. Yes, I suppose.
Oh, thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced.
Something still seems off. Way off. I'm still not convinced that the Iris here is the same one from the night before. I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous? Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places?
Switch places? To be perfectly honest, there's still quite a few things I don't understand. But I do know, unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue this trial.
Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere.
Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple, have there been any chances for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne?
Well, I mean, there has to be one, but the question is where? Or when? Ah, the earthquake. Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance.
Oh, explain yourself.
Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown.
Unknown? What do you mean?
What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move freely unsupervised.
Well, who was it? Who would give a murder suspect time to move freely about like that at all?
I'm sorry. I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person who gave Iris a chance to move freely was...
Take that!
This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it?
Your Honor. There was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not?
An earthquake? How could I have? She fled. She escaped.
We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne.
That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here. No judge in his right mind would consider the idea of spiritual.
Be quiet. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge.
That voice.
Guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask her name and profession. That's one of my rules. Dahlia Hawthorne, and my current profession? Permanently retired. Ah, so you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh? Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me.
What's going on here?
Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought we'd meet again. I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time I'll end it. For her and for myself.
Now then, let's continue where we left off, shall we? Well, witness?
Yes? How can I help you, Mr. Judge?
Well, it seems if we're to learn the truth, we'll need to hear your testimony.
I have no problem with that. But when you've seen what I have, sometimes the truth is better left unknown.
In any case, let's hear your testimony. Tell us about the plan that was carried out that night.
The whole plan began with my death. A stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay to install her own daughter as the next master. But for it to work, Maya Fay would first have to die. The idea for me was to kill Maya and then have the blame pinned on Iris. The plan went wrong, but it seems to have succeeded anyway.
So that means you really are...
Wait a minute. Did you just say the plan was to kill Maya Fay?
Yes, you have a problem with that?
Don't give us that nonsense. There's no way that... Watch yourself, trite. If you've got a problem, solve it during cross-examination. That's one of my rules. Mr. Godo's correct. And by the way, that's one of my rules as well. To kill Maya? Could it be true? Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades. But Maya's not the master yet. Speed run?
Objection!
No, never mind. Let's get pressing then.
Hold it!
You were executed last month, correct?
Yeah, I was hanged. It wasn't exactly pleasant.
How did you manage to discuss the plan? When did you talk with Morgan Fay?
Last year, she was transferred to the same detention center as me. Since I was on death row and she was my mother, it was actually pretty easy to meet with her.
I see. So that's where you discussed the plan?
Huh, are you crazy? At first, that woman was planning to kill me as well, even though I'm her own daughter.
Or to make Pearl Fay the master of the Karain?
She's a cold, twisted woman. She thought she could finally regain her lost honor. The honor she lost when her younger sister Misty took her place as the master. Ever since that day, she's been working on this plan.
A plan, huh? You're talking about Pearl Fay, this is correct?
Yes, although at first she had high hopes for the two of us.
You and your twin sister Iris?
That's correct. Fortunately, Fortunately, neither of us had much spiritual power. That's why we were abandoned by her, along with our father.
Abandoned?
The only person I ever cared about in life was myself. My sister was a nuisance, so I convinced my father to leave her at the old temple.
You mean Iris?
Yes, my father remarried a woman who also had a daughter. The less children you have, the more money there is to go around, right? And on top of that, my father had absolutely no interest in children in general.
How horrible.
The really horrible one was that woman. That bitter, vengeful woman. It was her stubbornness that gave birth to that child, Pearl Fay. She was born with an abundance of spiritual power. Unfortunately for her, Morgan Fay heaped all her broken hopes and dreams into that poor child's back. All because of her pathetic dreams of having her bloodline become the main family.
Maya would have to die, but why?
For our bloodline to succeed as the main family, thus making Pearl the new master. The remaining descendants of the current master had to be taken care of.
But Pearls would never agree to a plan like that. She adores Maya.
How sad. You still don't get it, do you? What Pearl wanted had nothing to do with it. Morgan didn't care one bit about Pearl. The only thing she cared about was the position of master. That's all. That's ridiculous. She was willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to achieve her goal. The life of her daughter, and naturally the life of Maya Fey as well.
How could anyone do that?
Hold it!
You? You were going to kill Maya?
Pearl didn't even know anything about it. All she had to do was follow the instructions in the letter and channel me. Then I would have simply used her body and finished the job. In any case, I'm already dead, and there's nothing any of you can do to me.
So the plan was to blame the crime on your younger twin, on Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple.
She and I look absolutely identical. No way to tell us apart. If someone would have witnessed me killing Maya, naturally they'd think it was Iris that had done it.
And the witness in this case was the head nun, Sister Bikini.
I never would have guessed she was going to return to Hazakura Temple that night. But she wound up seeing Iris's crime anyway.
Why would you want to pin the murder on Iris in the first place? She's your twin sister, isn't she?
Twin sister? Don't make me laugh. She's nothing but a backstabber. I could care less about her.
Backstabber?
You just don't understand. You never will. Anyway,
You think the plan was a success?
you heard me. Just as the woman had hoped. My Fey's dead. And now the title of the master will pass on to Pearl Fey.
That's absurd. She's just trapped inside the sacred cavern.
Really? You're as foolishly optimistic as ever, aren't you, my darling Feeny? Do you want to know the truth? Ever since we met, I've despised you. Your snivelling naivete and your pathetic faith in other people.
I just want to know one thing. What did you personally think of Morgan Fay's plan?
I told you already, didn't I? It was a stupid plan. It had no point, no value other than fulfilling her own greedy desires. Yes, it was certainly nothing to be proud of.
If that's how you feel, why did you help her carry it out? Why would you do it? Why would you kill Maya?
You may not understand it, being the kind and gentle soul you are. You may not have been able to appreciate why someone like me would help a woman like that.
So then tell me, why?
Isn't it obvious? I'm not like that woman. I only act in my own self-interest. The reason I helped her was for myself. My own personal satisfaction.
What did you say? So this woman, Dahlia Hawthorne, she had her own reason for wanting Maya dead? Obviously, it's because you were helping Morgan Fay.
Helping? Don't make me laugh. From the day I was born to the day I died, I never helped anyone. I lived for myself, and in the end, I died for myself. I thought that was obvious.
So she's not actually cooperating with Morgan. She's using Morgan and her plans so she can accomplish her own goal.
All I wanted to do was kill Maya Fey. That was the only way I could think of to get revenge.
Revenge? It looks like I have no choice but to present that bit of evidence. I can't believe it. She meant to kill Maya. Gotta keep a cool head and I need to get more information out of her. It's the only way to understand this plan and what she was after as well. What do you mean by that bit of evidence?
Objection! Objection!
I actually don't know. Since Phoenix's profile isn't here anymore, I'm not sure where to go with this revenge angle.
Objection!
Oh! Mia?
Objection!
Yes! Could it be your actual goal had nothing to do with Maya Fey herself? As I said, none of you have the power to punish me anymore, because I'm already dead. Well, I had the same problem, you see. You can't punish the dead, and you can't take revenge against them either.
You want to take revenge on someone?
I was sentenced to die because of that woman, Mia Fey. I somehow knew this was it. I wanted to send her a message. It was at her hands that I suffered my first humiliation. I wanted her to feel the same pain she made me feel. Sadly, when I realized revenge was impossible, I gave up.
And the reason it was impossible? Was it perhaps because Maya Fey had already died?
Yes, and I realized there's only one way to take revenge against the dead.
And how do you do that?
Even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. I wanted to take away the person that Mia Fey loved the most. I wanted to kill her with my own hands. That would be the one and only way I could take my revenge against Mia Fey. That was the reason I helped out with a woman's plans. Just for that. For that you would kill Maya. Your goal is no different than that of Morgan Fey.
As they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. What a cruel plan. Cruel, cold, and heartless.
Don't waste your time preaching to the dead. I've already told you there's not a thing you can do to me. Ugh. That night, about 9:30, I materialized into this world. I quickly pinned my hair up and put on a demon warden hood. Then I picked up the staff that was by my side and left Hazakura Temple. So it was Elise Dunin who channeled her after all. That ridiculous head nun never noticed a thing. She left my Fey at the inner temple and wobbled back clutching her poor old back.
What did you do then?
The kid was easier to handle than I hoped. I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and... So then you're saying you stabbed Maya? It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that.
What does that mean, no clear memory?
I don't know. I think I was stabbed. You were stabbed? At the last minute, Maya Fey must have stabbed me, I'm sure of it. That's not like her at all. Maya wouldn't stab a French fry with a plastic fork.
Anyway, I suddenly lost consciousness, but before I did, I scrawled her name on the lantern. Just as I was passing out, I wrote Maya behind my back. I'd hoped it would cast suspicion on her. I can't believe she's thinking of that until the bitter end. That's where my memory temporarily stops.
Stops?
I don't have any memory of actually killing Maya Fey with my own two hands. My very last memory was Maya's terror-filled eyes. When I woke up after that, I was in the sacred cavern surrounded by darkness.
You were in the sacred cavern?
The entrance was sealed with one of those trick locks. Somehow I've been trapped in there.
But how did you wind up in there?
I'd like to know that myself. Anyway, I was worried. I didn't know whether or not Maya Fey was dead, and I swore I wouldn't return to the underworld until I'd killed her myself.
For a ghost, you're one tough cookie.
I wanted to get out of there and make sure she was dead, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't get out.
The trick lock stopped you, huh?
I didn't know how to remove it.
So then you're saying you were actually confined against your will inside the sacred cavern?
Yes, I wanted to get rid of that annoying lock as soon as possible, but it wasn't easy. I kept getting interrupted when I was working on it.
Interrupted?
It was early in the morning, but someone came into the training hall.
What? Who? Could it have been Maya?
I thought the same thing, but I couldn't see.
Why not?
If someone had spotted me, I would have lost my chance to take revenge. So I made sure to hide myself in the back of the sacred cavern.
That morning, only two people could have gone to the training hall. Maya and Pearls. Pearls went there to cover the hanging scroll in gravy.
Still, I finally managed to remove the lock, but I was too late.
What do you mean by that?
The flies had already started to gather.
The bridge had been fixed and the police started their investigation, correct?
Naturally, I couldn't go out, so instead, I returned to the cabin and put the lock back on myself. I realized I wouldn't get a chance to see Maya's corpse as I'd hoped, but just then, Lady Luck showed up.
Lady Luck?
After that big earthquake, she showed up all by herself.
The real Iris?
She said she'd come to make sure the sacred cavern was alright. Stupid girl. I came out from the sacred cavern and got a feel for the situation. And I locked her away in my place. I finally learned exactly what had happened. It was then I learned the plan had actually succeeded.
What do you mean by your plan had succeeded?
I'd misunderstood one thing, you see. That night, the one who had summoned me, I'd assumed it was Pearl Fey.
Of course you would have assumed that. It was written in the instructions.
But I was wrong. The person who actually called my spirit back was Misty Fey, the picture book author.
What?
Well, that's really the only possibility, isn't it? After I lost consciousness in the garden, it was her body that was left lying there. My Fey. I wasn't able to kill her with my own two hands after all. But even so, I made a commitment to the most vile sin a human can commit.
And that is
Matricide. The sin of killing her own mother.
no way!
Order! Order in the court! What's the meaning of this?
It's true, I was the one who attacked Martha. But even so, the murderer who actually snuffed out Misty Faye's life was none other than your darling little Maya.
Ridiculous. Nonsense.
Are you sure about that? Just think about it. There's even evidence supporting these facts, isn't there?
What? What do you mean? What's this so-called evidence?
The fact Ma Fei has disappeared is evidence enough, isn't it?
Huh?
The idea that she's still in the sacred cabin is ridiculous. She wasn't able to escape from the inner temple, that much is obvious. In that case, there's only one place she could be.
Where?
Do I have to spell it out?
The bottom of Eagle River. Where else? Eagle River?
Ma Fei killed her long-lost mother. Can you imagine the guilt she must have felt when she realized that? That's why she threw herself into the Eagle River. Most bodies have wound up there and lost forever. So what do you have to say now, Feeny?
Oh. Dodo, get your phone. Oops. Sorry, that's my phone. What kind of ringtone is that? Godo here. Okay, thanks. Was it something important? They just finished removing the locks from the sacred cabin. That's great! What about Maya? There was a woman in the cave. Was it Maya Fey? It was the accused, Sister Iris. Huh?
Don't look so surprised. I locked her in there yesterday. I just finished telling you that.
So what about Maya? Where is she? Really, Phoenix? Come on. There's no one else inside the sacred cabin. No, it can't be.
I told you, didn't I? She's dead.
No. No! It seems that this case has come to an end. A tragic end. Sadly, it appears the killer of Ms. Dunim, aka Misty Fey, was her own daughter Maya Fey. Overcome with guilt for what she'd done, Maya Fey jumped to her death into the raging waters of Eagle River. It can't be.
Huh?
Oops. Trite. Have you ever heard this one? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. No matter how improbable it may seem. What's that supposed to mean, Prosecutor Godo? According to this witness, Maya Fey threw herself into the Eagle River. However, is that really the truth? Remember, this woman testified earlier that the bridge was already on fire when the murder was taking place in the garden. Which means if Maya had thrown herself into the river, it must have been from the inner temple side near the bridge, which is impossible because of the rock form.
That's right. That's where she jumped from.
But that's impossible. It's impossible to jump into the river from there. What? Don't get your panties twisted up, trite. Just relax and think through the whole thing again. So it's impossible? Maya couldn't have thrown herself into the Eagle River?
Well, Mr. Wright, Miss Hawthorne claims Miss Fay threw herself into the river from the inner temple side. Do you have any evidence that refutes this claim?
Take that!
It's impossible to jump in the Eagle River from the River Temple side. No one knows better than the witness. What did you say? 11 years ago, you jumped into the very same river. Just take a look at this overhead map. As you can see, below the cliff on the inner temple side is a rock shelf.
Oh! You're right!
She wouldn't have reached the river if she jumped from there. In other words, if she had jumped, we should be able to see her body in this photo. So you finally figured it out.
No!
Order! Order!
You're just playing with me. My face body's at the bottom of Eagle River. There's nowhere else she could possibly be hiding.
Miss Hawthorne, have you ever heard this one before? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Yes, just a few minutes ago.
Maya Fay wasn't inside the sacred cabin. We now know she didn't throw herself into Eagle River. Correct. That eliminates the most likely possibilities. Now, although it seems improbable, there's still one other place she could be.
What? What's this one possibility you're talking about?
It's obviously a bluff. Where's her dead body then?
Finally, I think the pieces are falling into place. Normally the living have no way to punish the dead, but I think there's a way to give Dahlia Hawthorne the ultimate punishment. Shall I tell you, Miss Hawthorne? Shall I tell you where Maya Fay this very instant? Maya Fay is in this very courtroom. There's only one possibility left. She is right here in this very courtroom.
What?
Maya Fay's here? She's here in my courtroom?
Dahlia Hawthorne, I seem to recall that you said I had misunderstood one thing, you see.
So what?
I think there's one more thing you misunderstood.
What do you mean?
Tell me something. At this very moment, who is channeling Dahlia Hawthorne?
Well, that's obvious. It's Pearl Fay, the pathetic little sniveling runt.
You're wrong. Pearl's tried, but she couldn't do it.
Never felt channeling someone before. This is the first time it's happened.
Is there no explanation why you couldn't channel a spirit?
It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit.
Someone called me before Pearl did?
But who?
Pearl's even tried again the day after the crime, but she couldn't do it. What could that mean? I think the truth's becoming clearer to you right about now. Am I correct?
Huh?
It wasn't Pearls that channeled you. There is someone who called you before she could.
Take that!
This is an easy one. Pearls couldn't do it, and Misty Fay is gone. There's only one possibility left.
Well, come on already, I can't stand the tension!
Dahlia Hawthorne, the person channeling you right now must be Maya Fay.
What?
But how can that be? Remember what this witness Dahlia Hawthorne said about her goal? She said the goal was to kill Maya Fey. That's right! But if Maya channeled her the spirit of someone that she was trying to kill her... Well, Gramps, what would happen? Could it be? Looks like you finally understand, Your Honor.
Well, I don't. What are you going on about?
What I'm going on about is the reason Maya channeled you. And there's only one reason. To protect herself from you.
To protect herself from me?
Yes. On the night of the crime, you were only interested in one thing. Killing Maya Fey. The path back to Hazakura was closed off and there was nowhere for her to run. So then the problem became, where would be the safest place to hide?
You mean that's when she channeled me?
All this time you thought you'd been channeled by pearls. That's why it never occurred to you that Maya's hiding place was you.
No, don't say that. You're saying I, Dahlia Hawthorne, was played for a fool by that little whelp? Maya Fey killed herself, isn't it obvious?
Sorry, but no. It would have been impossible for her to jump into the Eagle River. This is the only avenue of escape open to Maya. The only way Maya could disappear from the inner temple.
I don't believe you. A stupid little girl like that who's never been out in the real world, she could never have come up with a plan like that. Who could have ever given her such a brilliant idea?
Well...
Me, of course.
Mia!
Mia Fey. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne.
So it's true. It was you.
Yes.
You're something else.
But what are you doing here?
That hair. It's pearls, right?
Tell me something, Dahlia. I want you to think back to the night one more time. You had just cornered Maya in the inner temple garden, and then in the final moments of the fight you lost consciousness. I was stabbed by Maya Fey. Actually, Maya lost consciousness the same time as you.
She did.
Not terribly surprising since she was about to be killed.
When she woke up, she was in the training hall. That's when Maya decided she needed help, so she channeled me. She explained in a memo the situation she was in, and asked me what I thought she should do. She did that? I can't believe it. Of course I didn't have all the details, but one thing was perfectly clear.
And that was...
I knew you couldn't be allowed to wander free.
Free? What do you mean?
It was a race against time. I wrote down 2 things Maya had to do. Channel Dahlia Hawthorne as soon as possible, and lock herself in the sacred cavern until help arrived.
So it was Maya who put the lock there.
Yes, but why did you want her to do those 2 things?
If she hadn't done it, Dahlia Hawthorne would have been channeled by someone else. By one Pearl Fey.
Pearls?
Yes, Pearl didn't properly understand the plan. All she was trying to do was follow her mother's instructions. If she'd succeeded in channeling Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit, things would have turned out very badly, to put it mildly.
So that's how it was. Dahlia Hawthorne would have used the body of Pearl Fey to kill Maya at all costs.
Yes, it certainly sounds like that was the intent all along.
How dare you! I won't forget this!
Why not just admit it, Dahlia Hawthorne? Your little plan was nothing but a big failure.
Yes, another failure to add to the pile of shame, wouldn't you say? What do you mean by another?
Think about it, Dahlia. Remember all your past crimes. Not a single one of them was a success. They all ended in failure.
What? How dare you?
11 years ago. The fake kidnapping, your very first crime. You got your hands on a $2 million diamond, but... After Terry Falls escaped and went to meet with Valerie Hawthorne, the truth was exposed.
You shut your mouth. That wasn't my fault. It was because of that stupid oath of a prison and a weakling of a policewoman.
And then 1 year later, you tried to kill me. Well, I'm still alive, but... You wound up killing someone else. As a result, you were sentenced to death. It's one stupid move after another with you, but it's no longer funny.
You wipe that smug, happy-go-lucky smile off your face.
And now this. You messed up again. You let Maya Fey escape, even though she was right there in front of you.
Mia Fey! You spinster! I was supposed to kill Maya Fey like I swore I would.
And if only you'd
gotten this spiky haired jerk the guilty verdict, I wouldn't have been hanged to death. True. But I think you finally understand, Dahlia Hawthorne. You will never defeat me. What? What did you say? Whether you're alive, dead, somewhere in between, you will never defeat me. As long as I'm around, you're destined to lose for all eternity.
I remember what you said earlier in the trial. You said there was no way we could punish you, because you were already dead.
What about it?
Then you said, even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, lives on forever.
That's very true, Dahlia. And that's exactly the punishment you'll never be able to escape from. For all of eternity, you have to remain as Dahlia Hawthorne, a miserable, pathetic, weak creature who can never win at anything. And for you, there's no escape from that, no hope for freedom. Since the day you were executed, the narrow bridge that once stretched out in front of you has burnt to a crisp. You're wrong. It can't be. How could I lose to the likes of you?
It no longer matters. I don't care whether you win or lose anymore. The only thing I want is for you to come out of Maya's body right now.
I'm not ready to go! Nick? Sis?